August 12th, 2018. I just want to talk very briefly about shifting ecosystems and how you can have pressures on ecosystems to push them in a direction that you might want to push them in without doing a lot of damage. So this is an example. This field here was oversprayed with an herbicide about 30 or 35 years ago now. They killed pretty much everything off in this field except the cedar trees. For some reason they survived all that, or sprouted after that, more likely. So this field, when I first started coming here about 10 years ago, was basically, by this time of year, this field would be yellow, brown, mostly dead vegetation, very little growing, no green, very low moisture content in the soil. It was very damaged from this herbicide application, where they way overdid it years back, and they never grew in this field again as a result because they killed their own soil. Unfortunately, this is a common practice here in the United States, and I think in some other countries as well. This herbicide, fungicide, pesticide thing has a very negative impact on ecosystems, and it's really just not necessary. It's really just not necessary. When you understand natural systems and you start mimicking natural systems, you realize that they can take out the majority of those issues in proper soil and ecological management. Anyway, I want to point out real quickly about mimicking rotational grazing. I'm not at a point yet where I have enough knowledge to take on cows or grazing type animals. I don't have the budget to really get started on that right now. It's something I do want to do in the future. I love a grass-fed steak. I can't wait to add that to my system, but I have to wait because I'm not really ready for it yet. So in the meantime, I have been working this field in pieces, kind of to study it on my own, and also to kind of give an example to my YouTube users, and to kind of start prepping this field in a positive direction again. It's started growing back enough now that we get this real tall stuff, but you can see it's not really super healthy in here. It's still kind of sparse. We still have bare soils showing underneath, and so it hasn't fully recovered yet. You can see there's, like a really healthy field. This would be just packed with lush green growth and a very high diversity. Fortunately, the goldenrod is a fantastic soil rebuilder. It builds a nice deep root, nice deep and wide root structure, and extracts nutrients from deeper in the soil. And so that has helped tremendously in building the soil back up. I started doing some mowing in here last year. Primary purpose was to get more mulch, because it's just really hard for me to keep up on mulch. I'm going to shift that system over mostly to wood chips this year, if I can find a couple of tree services that'll drop wood chips for me. That's another topic altogether, but I want to talk about rotational grazing, and I just kind of want to show, like, this area here has been mowed obviously more frequently than this area there, and then the farther area there and over here, those have not been mowed at all this year yet. And so you can kind of mimic rotational grazing using a lawnmower or brush hog or any kind of mowing device. And I just want to show that how much greener and denser this grass is in here, and that this white clover has come in here. Some white clover was seeded back in here, I think about 5 or 10 years ago. My friend's son had seeded a bunch in here, trying to get the deer to come up in here and graze for hunting season and that kind of thing. And that worked out really well, but the clover has a hard time getting established up against much taller varieties like this. And so where I've mowed, you can see all those little white spots of clover coming in. And so what I like to do is wait until this clover gets tall, starts to brown over and go to seed, and then I come through and mow, and I harvest off the mulch, and the clover seed falls back in here. And so we just keep spreading the clover seed around, and that's helping to build nitrogen in the soil and help get the soil structure back online and growing. One of the other benefits that happens when we do this is other species like this. This is Queen Anne's lace. This is the original plant that the modern day sweet carrot that you get in the grocery store was bred from. And so this builds a deep, fibrous, tubery kind of root. It looks just like a carrot. It does not taste as sweet or nice as a carrot, but it does have a lot of benefits. But so what happens is you get clover generating nitrogen, and you get carrots growing in here, and these carrot tubers stay in the ground over the season, and the following spring, all the nutrients that they've absorbed, some of those nutrients are released back into the soil. And so you have clover building nitrogen and carrot sequestering nitrogen, and then all these other species are all also interacting in this soil fungal food web, and so they're all working together to help build the soil back up. But I just wanted to point out that it can be done with the use of mowers. You don't have to have grazing animals, and of course you don't get the same benefits as you would with grazing animals, where you get the manure and the trampling and a lot of the other entomology and insects and that kind of thing that come in behind cattle. And ideally you would have cattle followed by chickens or birds or turkeys of some sort, and they'll come through and they'll eat the flies, and the dung beetles won't be eaten, and they'll be able to go back in the soil and do their thing. It's really quite a complex system, but I just kind of want to show some very simple examples for people so they can get the concept. Now I just want to show down here, this whole area here, I just mowed about 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe 3. This was all that green clover, about 6 or 8 inches high. It had just seeded over, and I came through and mowed this and took the mulch out of here, and I made sure that the clover seed got blown up into here. And then later this season I'll come through and mow this, and we'll give that clover an opportunity to get established, and we'll keep building this up in layers and pieces. Anyway, just kind of wanted to point out how ecosystems can be shifted with very little pressure and very little effort if you understand how ecosystems work, and especially if you understand how they evolve. I hope this helps someone. I hope someone will comment, interact, and ask questions, or whatever. I hope you found this informative and interesting. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.